comfortable way for me to look at a board is as a table. What's most
between Israel and Iran has exploded globally on day 6 of the conflict. Donald Trump got straight back down to business after leaving the G7 in a rush in Canada to deal with the worsening situation in the Middle East. The US president emerged demanding unconditional surrender by Iran.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good afternoon and good evening to you, wherever you're listening from across the world. Welcome to the Mr. Freemason channel, and thank you for joining me for another live. Here we like to discover and explore numerology, astrology, also occults, Freemasonry, secret knowledge, and also traditions. So if you're here new at the channel, please smash up the subscribe button, smash the like button. We'll wait for a few minutes for a few other people to join us, and we will get straight into today's show. As always, what we like to do at the beginning of the show is do a roll call, just so if you drop down in the chat section, and we will find out where everybody is listening from across the world. So I hope you've all been keeping yourselves very well and keeping out of the heat. Here in the UK, it's absolutely scorching at the moment, and the sun is baking. So you'll have to excuse me, I am in the studio. I do have my aircon on, which is very old school, which is basically a fan and an open window. So if you do hear that in the background during the whole live session, I do apologise. So we've got Wiz with us. Shout out to you, Wiz. Shout out to you in northwest London. I'm guessing it's extremely hot there as well. So what we'll try and do today in the live stream is I'll try and put up the invite request. So if anybody who's watching would like to come and step up and join the live stream, if there's any questions you'd like to ask surrounding numerology, astrology, or you'd like to put your own input in with any kind of numerology, astrology information that you know, then let us know in the chat section, and I will put the invite up for you, and you're more than welcome to join the live stream. So today is the 18th of June 2025. It's an 18 days. 1 and 8 gives us the number of 9, which is beginning and endings and completion and cycles. People born on 9 days, they learn their lessons the hard way. They're very good with balancing money and books, especially crypto. They're very good at giving their own advice to other people, but not taking their own advice is the best way to describe them. They're the kind of people that make the same mistakes over and over again. I can actually speak from first hand, as my brother's a 9, and let's just say he's got himself in trouble a couple of times for the same thing. And he's even said himself that he gives good advice, just so he doesn't take his own. So there's a clear example for you of a number 9. So we have a 9 day plus the June, which gives us a 15, and also the year 2025, which also gives us another 9. And when we add them together, it gives us 24. Now, 24 broken down into single numerology is 2 plus 4 equals 6, which is the number of home and family, and the 6th letter being F, which is why you will find in the news today that Iran and Israel have been speaking about facilities that have been bombed. So that's just another way of how the letter F is incorporated into today's news. You will find that news that's reoccurring on a day-to-day basis of a story that's going on. You will find that on certain numerology days, such as the day which is 6, and the 6th letter of the alphabet being F, you will find that we'll put words in there that start with them letters. An example of this was the Pope, when the Pope passed. I can't remember exactly what day it was. I believe it was maybe the 23rd or maybe the 24th. But the letter of the alphabet was W, and they described him as wonderful. On another day that numerology fell into place and matched up with the same letter of the alphabet, they also used them words. I believe it was the 13th letter of the alphabet being M, and they were using the word marvelous. So on certain days of numerology, they will incorporate certain words that match up to them letters in the alphabet. So an example of what I've just given you is the 6th day today, 6th letter of the alphabet being F, and they've used the word facilities. There was another 6th day a couple of weeks ago, and that was with regards to Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. So there's another F for you on a 6th day. So that's just an example of how they incorporate it into the news. So we've also got Wonder Woman versus Hulk, who's joined us as well. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for joining the show. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then we will jump straight into the show and video that I've got prepared for you today. So I'll break down the topics of what we're going to cover today in today's live stream, which will be Elon Musk, Luke Littler, the darts player, Emmanuel Macron, French president, obviously Israel, Iran, also to do with the grooming gangs, because that kind of coincides on the same day of information as Iran and the war that's going on with Israel. We'll take a quick look at G7 and when that happened. Also regards to the leaders that attended and where it was held. And we will slightly touch on towards the end of the Pakistani plane crash that happened on the 12th of June. And you'll see how numerology incorporates into that, and you'll see why Pakistan had the plane crash, and you will also find out why Pakistan are involved in the grooming gangs. So just before we get started, is there anybody who's watching, or the viewers or subscribers, is there anything in the news of numerology that you've noticed yourself? I notice Wiz is quite good at these days. She tends to spot some of the things before I do. But if there's anybody out there that would like to add their input, then you're more than free to do so. Okay, so without any further hesitation, we'll jump straight into the video. So Elon Musk was in the news, not only for his black eye that he received, and said this was done by his son, which was later disclosed to be one of Donald Trump's close associates that he had an argument with behind the scenes. So Elon Musk was in the news with regards to his substance taking or substance abuse that people have raised concerns over. This was to do with his drug test, and this happened on the 13th. The information came out. So the information came out on the 13th of June. Now, if we take the 13th letter like we did before in the Madeleine McCann case, sometimes you'll always find there's double M's in there. Not always, but sometimes. So the 13th letter being M, which stands for medical tests. It also stands for Musk. So that's why the information came out on the 13th. 1 and 3 also equals the number 4, which is the number of law and order, which is what Donald Trump is all about. The 4th letter of the alphabet is also D, and drug tests starts with D. So there's another example for you, and that's just one I've just noticed just now while we're live on the stream. So as we've explored before on the live stream, Elon Musk is born in the year of the pig, which is why this year has not gone very well for him at all. We discussed this right at the very beginning of the year back in January. We also said that Pakistan and India, which were founded in 1947 after the British Empire left, would suffer this year. And they've both been at loggerheads. They're both born under pig energy, the enemy sign of the snake, 2025 this year. So Elon Musk's news broke on the 13th, and that's why the news came out, because the 13th letter is M and stands for medical tests and Musk. The other news as well is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk's friendship is actually verified as actually being over and done with, which is what we said earlier on at the beginning of the year. We already kind of knew this in March, because Elon Musk had not actually been given an office in the White House. He was the only person that had to have an office a mile down the road, and he started to get on Donald Trump's nerves a bit. And then came the salute, the Roman salute, and then there were a few other factors afterwards as well, and that's why Donald Trump's decided to distance himself. These people already know this. I don't know why Elon Musk is kind of trying to fight against the tide. Whether he thinks he's intellectual enough that he can beat numerology, but as we know, you can't avoid numerology. It is what it is. People lie and numbers don't. And if you think 2025 is finished with Elon Musk, there's a little bit more yet to come. What that is, I don't know, but I just know that the enemy year is only halfway through, and there's another 6 months left to go, considering what he's already had to endure. Now, I'll touch on a bit of sports in a minute. There was also the information that happened on the 13th of June with regards to the migrants crossing in the boats across the UK Channel. The news came out that there was over 2,000 in 7 days, and hit a new all-time high record. And migrants also start with M. Just pause a minute, because someone in chat asked a good question. So what did you ask, Wiz? It could be a health scare for Elon. Yes. Well, they've said he was teetering. You've got to be very careful when it comes to mainstream media, because, as we know, good news doesn't sell and bad news does. So they will try to spice up stories just to make them a bit more juicy, so people buy newspapers and also watch their media. So, I will also touch on towards the end of the stream with regards to the death code that I spoke about in numerology astrology, and how that kind of works with the parent and also the child. And I'll give you a couple of examples. One's a personal one of mine that I've incurred, obviously with somebody that I know. I did actually give them a heads up and a warning, but I don't think they took numerology astrology too serious at the time. But once this happened, they kind of listened or wanted to know a bit further more. And another one is an example of someone who's famous, who everybody will know. And when you look into the numerology of that, it kind of backs up the theory with regards to the death code. So moving on to Luke Lilla, the darts player and darts champion. Luke Lilla was born on the 21st of the 1st of January, so the 21st of January 2007. So he was born on a 3-day, because 2 and 1 equals the number 3, and champion also starts with C. He was born in 2007. The reason that he lost his championship in the darts tournament is because he's born 2007, and 2007 is year of the pig, which is the enemy sign of the snake. It's just kind of, if you like to say, coincidental that I looked into Luke Littler. It wasn't something that jumped out at me at first. But when I kind of looked at it and thought maybe there might be something in the sports as well, just going based off the history, such as John Jones, an MMA fighter who's born under the cat year, who won his title in the cat year, lost it in an enemy sign of a rooster, only then to come back and win his title back again in a cat year. The same goes for Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's born under a dragon energy, which is why he managed to escape his trial and charges, so to speak, with regards to women and assault, should we say. He won his first title in a dragon year. He then lost his title in his enemy year. I believe he tapped out, or he might have broke his ankle. And then he came back in his own energy year and won both the titles. So that's another example of how numerology astrology also applies with the Vietnamese animals in sport. And as we start to move on to the UK and the grooming gangs, the information with regards to the grooming gangs and the inquiry all kind of came out on the same day as the information to do with Israel and Iran. Now, you will find that this has been all over the media and news today, constant, non-stop, these two topics, which will be Israel and Iran, and also the grooming gang topic. The reason that you'll find these are both coincided and being promoted in the mainstream media at the same time is because today is the 18th, and 1 and 8 equals 9. The 9th letter of the alphabet is I, and I stands for Israel, I stands for Iran, I stands for investigation, as in grooming gangs, and I also stands for inquiry. So on a day like today, which is a 9 day, and the 9th letter being I, this is why you will find the media is flooded with these two topics surrounding the letter I. We can also look at this with regards to the G7 summit that took place, and that took place on the 16th of June. Now, if we take the 1 and the 6 and put them together, that gives us a number 7. The 7th letter of the alphabet is G, and this is why on this day you had the G7 summit. Now, if you want to take the G and turn that into a 7, plus the 7 plus the 16, which is 1 and 7, would give you 3 7s. And if you put them all together in numerology and add them up and file them down to a single digit, it will give you the number 3, which is the letter C, and the letter and number of the criminal. It was also the day of the grooming gangs debate on the 16th. And like I've said, the 1 and 6 equals 7, the 7th letter being G. Grooming gangs both start with G. So it's just funny how you will see these things and start to notice when you start trying to convert the numbers into letters in the alphabet, you will see how frequently words beginning with that letter will come up in the news. The G7 summit was also held in Canada, of all places. Canada was founded in 1867, also a pig year. Which you will find the person that kind of took the centre stage and has kind of been in charge, so to speak, for the past few weeks, as in a dictatorship, should I say, is Emmanuel Macron. Now, Emmanuel Macron's born on the 21st, and 2 and 1 also equals 3, the number of the criminal. He was born in 1977, and that falls under the energy of the snake. And this is why I was saying that he's kind of taken centre stage. He also met with the Pakistani president, which I thought was quite strange. He sat down and had a conversation with him, and it was almost like they were kind of bowing or kneeling as such, or idol worship is probably the word that I would use, towards Emmanuel Macron. And that's because Pakistan was founded in 1947, year of the pig, which is the enemy sign of the snake. And 2025 is the year of the snake. And Emmanuel Macron is a snake. In probably more ways than one, so to speak. Which thinks Elon will be given a dodgy DRUGS. Unfortunately, I can't say that word on here, otherwise we get a slap on the wrist from the YouTube parents. So this is footage that's also come out today like I said, they like to use the words that begin with the same letter. So we had Israel, Iran. We've got incredible shown on the screen as in incredible footage. I will do a video on the English language and how it was converted from numbers, and they'll kind of give you a bit more of an understanding of kind of how numbers are worked with under energies, and that numbers are prime and come first and that letters come afterwards. Now, first of all, there was the war with Israel and Palestine, or Gaza, so to speak. The attacks happened on the 7th of October. We were told 7th letter of the alphabet is G. Gaza starts with G. And also the fact that Palestine was founded in a snake year, which surprised me why Israel tried to attack them and basically clear out Gaza, because basically they don't stand a chance. Or they do to a degree, but they don't stand a chance at fulfilling what their operational goal was, which is quite clear because they've kind of abandoned that now and now turn their attention to Iran. Also, we know Donald Trump left early from the G7 summit. I kind of got the inkling that Donald Trump left mainly being because it was held in Canada, and Canada is a pig year. And as the saying goes, some people make a pig's ear of it. And I think Donald Trump felt like he turned up to a circus and kind of had enough. And Donald Trump's also born under a dog energy, which is why it's his enemy year last year, and he had his ear shot at. Dogs are very well known for kind of being the centre of attention and the mouthpiece. They're hard workers as well, and they're quite loyal. That's where the saying "a man's best friend" comes from. So Donald Trump is one of them kind of people who would have your back if you were loyal and treated in the same way. So I'll turn our attention finally to the Pakistan plane crash. This happened on June the 12th, 1 and 2 equals 3, third letter being C, crash starts with C. Pakistan was also founded in 1947, the pig year, and this is why you will find also that the Pakistani grooming gangs are highlighted so much. So it seems that Pakistan's getting quite a beating this year in the year of 2025 in its enemy year of the snake. So you can see it's just very strange how they had the argument and war between Pakistan and India. You've then had the Pakistani plane crash, and also you've got the Pakistani grooming gangs. So you can see how kind of Pakistan's being made prominent in the year 2025. The seat that the man left the plane from, we was told, was seat 11A. 11 is the number of emotion. The 11th letter of the alphabet is also K. When someone's life is taken, this word begins with K. Unfortunately, I can't say that word either. There was a few other numbers involved. There was the Boeing, the model of the plane, I believe it is a Boeing, and when you added the 3 digits up, it came to 22, the number of the builder or building, which is what the plane landed and ended up in, so we were told. I'd just be interested to ask, actually, what do you think, or what are your thoughts on the Pakistani plane crash? Do you think that maybe this was some sort of ritual that had to be fulfilled? Do you believe it was just bad luck and energy because Pakistan's in its enemy year? Or do you believe that this was a distraction from the things going on in Israel and Iran? I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes. Just drop your thoughts in the chat box. It'd just be interesting to know what people's thoughts are, whether you think numerology is involved or whether it's nefarious. So with good news with the app, I still am going to do the live and launch for it. I've been quite busy having to do most of the stuff myself behind the scenes with regards to the Apple account, which is basically done. As far as I know, it's been released. It just takes 2 days, I think, on Apple's side to get it up and running. But the good news is it is available on the Google Store, Google Play Store to download as of now. I've amended the prices and dropped the prices right down. I believe there's an offer on as well at the minute. I think there's 18 or 20% off on your first subscription. If you also download the app on the Google Store, it will give you a free go, or a couple of free goes, I believe. I think it may be 4, maybe even 5 free goes, just so you can test the app yourself, have a go with it, maybe try some family or friends' numerology dates of birth and see what it says about them. It will give you initially just their energy number and also their life path number. So there will be the free goes which will just give you that information, which is just the basic information. Obviously, if you like to do a full reading and more in-depth detail, then you can pay for a one-off reading, or you can pay for the subscription on a yearly or monthly basis. But apart from that, yes, it's an absolutely awesome app. As time goes on, it will be developed even more, so I'll start to add things such as history or things that have happened on your birthday that comes up, or even related to other celebrities or famous people that share the same birthday as you. So it will be expanding as time goes on, but I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It's been an absolutely draining journey. I've learned a lot of things along the way, such as don't give a lot of people jobs to do if they can't do them, and do what you're best at, and kind of let people, and just delegate the rest to other people, really. So do what you do best and delegate the rest. That's the best. That's a really good catchphrase. So anyway, on that note, I will come towards the end of the show. It's only just a quick one today. If there's any other questions anybody would like to ask also. We just put numerology was involved and someone or some people were removed. Yeah, that's probably most likely, to be honest with you. They will do certain things like that just to make the figures and the numbers suited. That's why sometimes you'll find as well with regards to casualties in news, they'll tell you one set of numbers, then they'll tell you another set of numbers. When you put them numbers together, they end up coming out in numerology, or sometimes they'll give you a first set of numbers and then they'll give you the last lot of numbers, and the last lot of numbers will actually be the numerology. So yeah, they do kind of they're starting to cotton on and wise up that people are starting to learn this. The more people I speak to on a daily basis, people ask me, I get texts in the morning asking for readings and what does this number mean, and why is Katy Perry going to space on a 5-day, where 5 is the number of travel. So yeah, I do get asked questions like that quite a bit, and it seems like the word numerology is starting to spread quite rapid and fast this year. So it's all good and a positive thing, really. And I will be expecting kind of really by the year 2035, I would say, to be realistic, that numerology, especially numerology, would be taught in all mainstream schools. Just because there won't be no avoiding it anymore. People will be too awake and enlightened to the matrix code and decoding it. But before I go, I'm going to touch on the death code for you, as I said. So with regards to the death code in numerology astrology, it comes down to the parent and the child. No child specifically. If you've got the only child, then obviously it comes down to that child. So I'm going to give you an example and break this down a bit step by step, and then you can kind of see how it relates. So the first example I would give is Kobe Bryant, the NBA basketball player who used to play for the LA Lakers, who sadly lost his life in a helicopter accident that was also predicted on The Simpsons. Now, in that crash also was his daughter that lost her life. Kobe Bryant was born under horse energy, and his daughter was also born under horse energy. And what you will find is that in the enemy year of the child, you will find that the parent will lose their life. That's kind of one way of a prediction, so to speak. It's probably not the most positive prediction to make in life, but you can kind of see how it entangles and applies to numerology. The other one, an example that I can give you, is a personal one that I've experienced myself, which is one of my friends who I've known for about 20 years. And he's born in the dog year, which last year was his enemy sign. So last year was the year of the dragon and the enemy sign of the dog, which is why things happened to Donald Trump. And my friend also owns a dog, which makes it even worse. So he was guaranteed to get double whacked. I did speak to him about this and make him aware and spoke about numerology, astrology, but I think he just kind of shrugged it off. Well, I knew him and I knew his mum for about 15, 20 years. His mum used to smoke about 60 cigarettes a day. And if she was going to pass of anything, you would have thought it would have been that. Her flowers and arrangement was actually in the shape and colour of a cigarette, like a cigarette butt, which was quite funny. But sadly, she slipped off the second from last step of the stairs and she caused herself an injury. I think she broke her leg or broke her hip. She ended up in hospital and she recovered from her injuries, but at the same time, because she had a low immune system because of the injuries, she ended up with pneumonia, I believe, and fluid on the lungs, which she then needed breathing apparatus. And sadly, 2 weeks later, she passed away. So she actually recovered from her injuries of falling off the step. It was actually the pneumonia or the fluid on the lungs that stopped her progressing and recovering any further, sadly. So yeah, he was born in a dog energy year, and it was his enemy year last year. Of all years, his mum passed away. So it's a bit of a sad story to say, but that just shows you two stories I've just told you, how numerology, astrology applies and how the death code kind of works. So, and you can kind of apply this to people you know in your own life or family or friends. If you look back in history or people you know, you'll find out the children's enemy year, or find out the year that they're born under that energy, and then find out the enemy year. And 9 times out of 10, you will find that the parent passed away in that enemy year of the child. So there's a bit of hidden knowledge for you on a Wednesday evening. That's something that's not really spoke about very much, the death code. It's kind of one of them very hidden parts of knowledge that aren't really disclosed quite willingly or openly, should I say. So yeah, there's a bit of secret hidden knowledge for you with regards to numerology, astrology and the death code. So before we wrap up the stream, is there any questions anybody would like to ask? As always, you've been an absolutely brilliant community, and thank you for joining the live and your participation. Before we go, actually, I'll tell you what, I will give you the opportunity. Is there anybody that would like to actually come and step up to the stage and speak, or give their experience of numerology, astrology, how it's affected them in their life, or any kind of patterns or things that have happened? So I'll give you a couple of minutes, and if anybody doesn't want to step up, then I will wrap up the stream. Cheers, Wiz. Thanks very much. Thank you for that. And thank you to you, because I believe you were one of the testers, weren't you, for the app, if I remember rightly? So yeah, thanks very much for that. Brilliant. Thank you. So yeah, can only kind of build on it, really. There's a lot of flapping about, but like I say, if things were easy, then everybody would be doing them. So as always, if you'd like to learn more about numerology astrology, the book Breaking the Matrix, Numerology Astrology, is available on Amazon. If you want to go and grab yourself a copy, I believe there's 183 pages. So it'll be a good read. You'll learn an awful lot about numerology astrology. It will cover all the basics and some of the things I've spoke about in the show with regards to animal energies and how things work in different countries with different people born in certain years and certain animal energies. So on that note, thank you very much for joining me in the live stream. If you haven't already, make sure to smash subscribe. Also smash the like button. Let's see if we can get the video up to at least 100 likes. Get the message out there. Share the video if you can. Take care of yourselves. And until the next live, I'm out of here.